y'all, it's your girl Mirror, and I am back with another review. And let me just start off by saying these producers have us very messed up. Like, I want to say another word, but I'm gonna just keep it cute, and I'm gonna just say that they have us very messed up. Like, I don't know who told them. We want to continue to see 3-hour episodes, but we do not. We do not. These episodes have been harder to watch than the Olympics. Like, getting through episode 1, 2, and 3 were the most difficult thing that I have ever done in Married at First Sight history. Like, it is getting harder and harder to watch, and I just couldn't even review them because there was nothing to review. Like, it should not have taken us 3 episodes to get through all of them weddings. Like, it just should not have. So finally we went out on episode 4, and we are getting to the meat and potatoes of what's gonna happen this season, and I'm excited for it because it's about time. So let's go ahead and just get to the review. So this episode, we are not getting the honeymoon. Like, I don't know, I just thought after the wedding we get the honeymoon, but unfortunately we have to see them meet the families again, and we don't want to. But once again, Lifetime is just forcing that on us, something we did not ask for. We didn't want this. So Michaela and Zach, we'll just dive into the key points about them first. So Michaela and Zach are talking, and she reveals that she is possessive. She wouldn't consider herself jealous, but she definitely is passionate and possessive of the things that she cares about. And Zach says he likes that, and I'm like, you like that right now because you haven't met the hurricane. You haven't heard about Hurricane Michaela, Category 5, but I'm gonna let you live right now because you think you like it, and we gonna see if you like it, Zach, because I don't think you gonna like it. But she's possessive. So they're meeting the families today. So Zach ends up meeting with her sisters, of course, and honey, Michaela got the whole damn family to go through. You got mamas, daddies, aunties, brothers, cousins, uncles, aunts. Like, she got to go through the whole family. They came squad deep. So Michaela does get emotional because we do get to see that Zach's father actually decided to do the father-daughter dance with her, seeing as how her father wasn't there. So that did come up, you know, about him losing his life to a drunk driver. And of course she gets emotional about that because that is very heartbreaking, and I imagine that was a very sweet moment for her, like bittersweet anyway too, because you can see her family getting very emotional watching it, and then just in it, like, you're like, you have to be a little sad, of course. So that was very touching and sweet to see that, even though without knowing what was going on, you know, he kind of stepped in, and I'm sure he felt good about that after finding out what did happen to her father. So his father says, you know, we are all very protective of Zach. And, you know, mama's back there nodding her head like, very protective. Very protective. And the brother's throwing questions at her, you know, and the father actually asked a question of how she deals with conflict, and I think that was a very good question. I don't even think he realized how good of a question it was because he don't know who he's dealing with. He don't know that it's a whole hurricane at the table. But she gives him a really nice answer, you know, a really sweet answer, but it ain't the truth. It ain't the truth. Like, tell them about the hurricane. No, of course she's not gonna present her worst self to the family, but I'm just like, I just wish she would have been a little bit more honest that, you know, hey, I still have some things to work through with how to deal with conflict, but we can hopefully work through that together, because baby, I don't think they gonna like what they see when they see what we all see. So when they do meet up and talk, like, because Zach and the sisters, like, they really didn't touch on much because they had already kind of grilled him at the wedding. So we just know how her sisters are coming about her. They all seem to be a little more aggressive than Michaela has presented herself to be thus far. But I think they just all have that in common. So when they meet up and they talk about this discussion, Michaela's like, you know, make this brief because I got to go get my hair braided, boo. And I'm like, that's right. That honeymoon hair is a very essential. And I'm glad she's going to get them braids because she needs those. So we found out, honey, that Zach didn't even have to wait till the honeymoon to get the honey, because it happened like they done had sex. So like knowing what we know, and it's only because we seen these previews, like because coming in I had so much hope for this couple that was so cute to me. The first episode got me very excited for them, and then as we just see more teasers, it breaks my heart because I no longer have the hope that I have for them without seeing that stuff. So now certain things is just like like I don't know if y'all should have did that so soon, because the problems that's gonna rise. Like maybe y'all should have pumped the brakes a little bit. Y'all moving too fast. And I mean, if anything, we know that they are very attracted to each other, and they are definitely leading with that attraction to each other. And I just want to see how problematic that is going to be, because you know, so far we haven't gotten much of their personalities just yet. So I'm just like, I don't know how to feel about this. So afterwards, Zach ends up feeling sick, so he's waiting to get the results back from his COVID test. So as a result, they will be having to sleep separate, you know, for germ's sake. And I get it, but you know, y'all already has that, so technically I would guess that whatever germs have probably already transferred. But you know, you should be smart with the COVID thing, but maybe y'all should have been a little bit smarter before, you know. So then we have Jose and Rachel, and they basically just spent the whole night kissing and talking. And I gotta say, I am really surprised. Like, this couple is surprising the hell out of me, just because off first glance I perceived them to be the train wreck. Like, I thought they was gonna be the couple that was like, ain't no way they gonna make it, ain't no way. But they are surprising me, and they're attracted to each other, and how they're going about it so far seems really cool. So we gonna see. So Jose sits down with her mother and sister, and he's talking about how perfect things are so far. And I'm just like, it's only been a day, so let's pump the brakes. Let's not even use the word perfect. Like, that shouldn't even be an equation, because ain't nothing perfect, but especially not after just one day. But they immediately just start throwing salt in homegirl's game. Like, they like, wait till you see how messy she is. Wait till you see her car is falling apart. I'm like, just throw her under the bus. Like, throw salt in the game immediately. Like, you can tell that Jose is not feeling it right now, because I mean, you can tell just how crispy keeps his lips looking. Like, he don't play that. So we gonna see how that messiness, how he reacts to that. So she meets with his mother and father and stepmother, and she's already talking about it seems so good, too good to be true. And I'm like, calm down. It's been a day. Of course it's going to feel really good, because this is someone new. This is something fresh. And y'all are both off of the high of y'all just marrying strangers. So just calm down. Like, don't start being pessimistic already. Y'all gonna have problems. We know this. So just calm down. They tell her Jose's credit score is like his number one thing, and he's really big on his finances, and he like follows them to the T with the chart, and that is not her strong suit, so she is weary of that. And I really want to see what else Jose brings to the table besides a good credit score and being debt free and, you know, paying off houses. Like, okay, what is your personality? Because those aren't personality traits. Like, I am so proud that you have those accomplishments. Those are amazing, and most people would love to have those under their belt. But what is your personality, Jose, other than keeping yourself looking good and having nice things? Like, Jose. So, you know, Rachel claims to have changed quite a bit, because, you know, she's had whatever stuff she's had going on in her last relationships. You know, it kind of has a stain on her, but she claims that she resolves conflict much differently than she used to, and she speaks up for herself now. She doesn't bottle things in until she explodes. And I'm not so sure, because that is such a hard habit to break, and I just don't see that she would just immediately, you know, come in and not be submissive. But I'm hoping she doesn't, but we gonna see. So they are all finding out, you know, this they're about to go on honeymoons, and it's exciting, and they're packing honey, and he's starting to pack condoms, you know, like, you know, just in case. And she's like, hold up. And, you know, I'm thinking she's about to shut him down. Like, that ain't happening, homeboy. But no, she said, we don't even need those. I'm like, okay, everybody's just planning for a honeymoon, baby. Okay, fine by me. So when they do get to where they're going for their honeymoon, we don't get to see much, but he offers to brush her teeth for her. And that was very weird to her, and it was very weird to me. Like, Jose, you're coming off a little strange, my guy. Like, I'm gonna need to see some personality. I'm gonna need you to just stop doing weird stuff. So Mirla and Gil, so they bond over the gruesome deaths of their fathers. Like, I hate to say it that way, but their fathers both died very traumatically, and they were talking about it. Like, at first I thought she was gonna leave him hanging because he told her the night before when they were talking about how his father was killed when someone broke into their house, and she just kind of said she didn't want to talk about it because she always talks about it. So I just thought that was kind of messed up. I thought she was going to leave him hanging, but I think she just needed time, and because he is a stranger and we do see that she has her guards up so much, I think it was harder for her. But in the morning she did end up telling him what happened, and that was also tragic. Like, he basically done got set up by, you know, the daughter, so the stepdaughter or whatever. So it was really sad. So yeah, they got that in common. It's a lot of tragic stories this season. Like, I don't know if that's the reoccurring theme that they was going for. So Gil ends up sitting at at a table full of men, and he's just surprised. Like, every time Mirla's friend groups pop up, it just surprises me. Like, all black women, you know, he's sitting at the table with all men, and it's her brother and her best friends. And so he's thinking, you know, oh, this is gonna be cool. Like, you know, this is gonna be easier than having to face women. And they're like, nah, homeboy, because we real protective over Mirla, so we about to grill you. So Mirla admits to being moody and whiny, and we like, girl, we know. We can most definitely tell, the whiny part especially. Yes, you are a whiner and you are moody. We know. You ain't never lied. So, you know, they are basically financial opposites, and in every discussion, money seems to be coming up. So we can already tell the narrative that is going to be run with this couple. Like, the financial differences that they do have is going to be a problem. And as they're talking, you know, Mirla's like, you know, I am very motivated and driven by money, and Gil is like, money is really not a focus for me. It's just a necessity, but it's not something that I let motivate me. And I'm like, I don't really see where the matchmakers were going with this couple, but we gonna see. So the honeymoon comes, and honey, Mirla is already complaining. I mean, she calls it a senior citizen home in Florida. She literally said verbatim, I didn't want to have my honeymoon at a senior citizen's home in Florida, honey. She said her pool at home is better than that pool. So she is just not feeling it already. So I don't know what the vibes is going to be for their honeymoon, because she is already just coming in hot. So then we have Belle and Johnny, and Belle still has Johnny's number, and she has them receipts, honey. She said, Johnny, you ghosted me. Let's be clear. She pulls up them receipts. You know, he didn't have it in his phone still, but basically they were she had invited him to go to this museum with her, and he basically never responded. And I did watch the little after show that they do, and he basically said he was probably dating at that time, so he didn't respond, to not to intentionally just not respond and blow her off, but probably just because he was already in something else. So that makes sense. So Johnny meets with her family, she meets with his, and it was her brothers, and then she meets with his mom and aunt. And honey, his auntie's already talking about babies straight out the gate. Like, so what about some babies? The marriage part, and then we'll get to the baby and the courage part. And Belle also inquired about the father, who wasn't there because he's never going to be there, and apparently he wasn't there in Johnny's childhood, and he left. And you know, she's saying that she can win him over, but we gonna see, because Johnny's daddy seems like a piece of work. And Johnny does end up getting emotional when she tells him that she inquired about his father, because I just think that is such a sensitive topic for him, and Johnny probably does really need to see somebody about that, because he just has a lot of trauma surrounding his childhood. But regardless, he still loves his father, and his abandoning him, he doesn't love. And he also doesn't love his stuck in the 70s advice. His words, not mine. So They end up packing for the honeymoon, honey, and this is when we see Val at her finest, tripping over her spreadsheets, honey. She has an Excel spreadsheet for packing. Like, Johnny says she is him on steroids. Like, he might make a checklist, like, okay, I need 5 outfits, 5 pairs of shoes, blah, 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 let's get it done. She has a actual T-chart. Like, I need this shirt, these jeans, these shoes, these socks. Like, her shit is straight to the point. Like, she's not leaving nothing out. And I don't know how that's going to be, because she seems so much more high strung than he is. And even though they do have some similarities, and you know, I could see why they were matched, I just also see her being stuck in her ways. And you know, if he's not fitting what's on the chart when she needs him to fit what's on the chart, it might be a problem. So they get to the honeymoon, and what we see from them is basically Val with the guards up, like, pow, pow, it's 2 beds for a reason, sir. Why are you in this bed? Like, she really did ask him that. And so it was very shocking to me when he asked her a question about sex that she answered it, because I thought that she would immediately be like, but you know, she ended up telling him that she could tell by the way they kiss, like, it's gonna be good, it's gonna be good. And Johnny was basically like, I'm just into very basic vanilla sex, or as Beth would probably call it, basic Caucasian sex. So we don't know. Val ended up letting him stay in the bed, so I guess that was a good sign. That giving me a little hope there, because at first I was like, honey, she ain't even gonna let him sleep in the bed. So then we get to Brett and Ryan. They just seem cool, but it's driving me crazy how much her having red hair is such a topic of conversation all the time. Like, is red hair, is that really, like, I don't know. That must really be a thing. Like, he even went as far as to say, you know, redheads, they either pull it off really good and look good, or they're really ugly. And I'm like, what is with him and this her? So then he goes and meets with her family, has no questions. Like, I don't know what it is about Ryan, but like, he just seems to really be going through something. Like, every time you see him on the screen, he looks like he's battling demons. Like, he spent all night battling with demons and he's wore the fuck out. So I just don't know. And so when she meets with his family, like, his family, she's asking, you know, like, can y'all see why we were matched or whatever? And his friend says, you know, he's usually more in his shell and you seem very outgoing, so it'll be nice to see you bring him out of his shell. And you know, she's like, I've never had to bring anyone out of their shell, but she also didn't seem like that was a problem for her. Like, she didn't say like, well, I'm not trying to deal with somebody I have to bring out of their shell. So maybe that might work for them, and he might be right. So we get to the honeymoon for them, and I really wish we would have seen how Brett was acting on the plane, because the way he said she was cutting up, he was like, honey, if this would have just been a date, or if this would have just been somebody I'm just casually dealing with, she would have been gone. But since this is my wife, we just gonna keep it pushing. But apparently she was just acting a fool on that plane, and I would have loved to see it. That would have probably been the more entertaining part of this episode, because there really wasn't much going on. But we're gonna leave it alone. We're gonna leave it alone. So that was episode 4, pretty much, for the main part. Honey, that review got me wanting to see what the hell's going on next week, especially with Zach and Michaela. Like, I thought they was just gonna be our Woody and Amani. I thought they were gonna be our love story off top, but that is not what they are giving in these previews. So I am definitely looking forward to seeing that mess. But make sure y'all go ahead and like this video, comment down below, and of course subscribe to your girl, and I will see y'all next week.